This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the Foster. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right. It's that time again. Howdy, folks. Wednesday, November 29th. Last Wednesday of the month. November. Gone. Gone. December on Friday. Last month of the year. The holidays. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving holiday. I hope. It's not easy, I know. For those of you who may not have had the best holiday weekend, Thanksgiving, don't sweat it. There's 364 other days in the year we need to get through, not just that one day. That's a blink of an eye. It's the other days that matter. Really hope everybody's doing well, though. I do. I always wish you well. I love my people. If you take the time to come here and watch little old me, I love you for it. And speaking of love you for it, my name is Peter G. For the newbies, you're watching Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Right here. And for those of you who know who I am and watch me, I'm still Peter G. I'll always be Peter G. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Not sure if you knew, but I said, tonight I want to talk about the holidays. I always do when the holidays roll around because it's important to me. I do realize you tend to gravitate towards things, if when you've been there, done that, you realize that everybody's not having smiles on their faces. It's hard. The holidays are tough for a lot of people. Number one, our economy is really tough right now. And even if you aren't having personal problems, you may be having financial problems. I mean, God knows, going to the stores and it's expensive and the money's not making it. But we're going to talk about all that stuff tonight and personal things. And more than anything, I want to hear from the newbies tonight. More than anything. I want the newbies to call me and share some stories, share what they're going through, what they feel is going on with us. That's what I really want tonight, more than anything. That'll be coming up in a little bit. But that's what we're going to be talking about. The holidays, if you've watched any of my shows from the past years, once we roll around into the holidays, you'll find out how important I think it is to get through the holidays. The years of, everybody's smiling and happy and the kids are little and life is just good. It's not really as much anymore. I mean, we're going to get into all this stuff because it's important. It's important for your sanity. It's important for your soul. And I think it's important to talk about. And we're going to talk about it. And I'm hoping that you'll call me and talk about what's going on your end because it's tough out there. Really tough out there. And I got to talk about it. I just do. I just feel better when I talk about these things. I try. Anyway, speaking of trying, no matter how hard I try, I woke up the other morning, and I've been talking about this a lot because it's been happening a lot to me. These guys, once again, I woke up the Monday morning to find out that they took down another one of my shows from 2020. I mean, they're killing me. They've taken down about 12 of my shows so far. These guys. I love them and I hate them. But I mean, I'm not screwing around. This is what I had to wake up and look at when I woke up, and it just pisses me off. It just does. It's like, why? Why now? This is what I woke up to. Removed your content. From December 6th, 2020, show number 95. That's 95 of the live shows, not counting the pre-records and all that. They've taken down shows so far. I mean, just in the past 2 months, I think I've lost about 5 or 6 shows. They're meticulously going through all my stuff and talk. Now, this show was entitled "Getting Through the Holidays" because why? Because it was December, and you know, that's what I do every year. I talk about getting through the holidays because I understand it. I had to get through many holidays, some a lot worse than others. A lot of people can't handle that well. A lot of people, when they're alone or something, they start getting really depressed. Now, I can deal with it. It pisses me off sometimes. I mean, there's different circumstances. When I was going through my divorce, it was pissing me off because it was nonsense. But even when I first moved to LA many moons ago, there was times when I was by myself on the holidays because I was alone out here. I mean, I had friends and once in a while, but there was a year there and a year here and there. And I remember getting a phone call from Florida and somebody saying, "Hey, I just wanted to call you because I figured maybe you're alone," or something like that. And that was very sweet, but I'm okay. I get through it because maybe I'm just wired a little differently. It's like, got to keep going, keep moving forward. But a lot of people have a real tough time with this stuff. And I talked about getting through the holidays. Well, being that it was 2020, we were probably talking a lot about the Rona and getting the stuff in your arm. I probably were, because we were, there was a lot of talk about that. That was 2020. They were shutting us all in at that time. And they don't like that. They don't like it at all. They are trying to eradicate any kind of talk that goes against the positivity of what they're trying to sell. And I'm sorry. I question everything. I do. So I must have talked about it. I don't know. I didn't go through that show. I just woke up. I'm busy now. And, I don't go and watch 400 shows over again. I watch them at the time and then we move on. And sometimes if we're digging for clips, I'll go and find something. But these guys, I love them because if I need to learn how to fix something or I have it in my head, but I want to be sure, where do you go to? This is your average person's go-to. These guys, to learn how to fix something, to you just get on and how do you do this? How do you do that? There's always somebody showing you, some not so good, but you got to look around and use your common sense. Big part of my show, common sense. Always. So, I go to these guys for things and I'm trying to stay relevant on this platform. I really am. But man, the censorship is just, even my daughter, I told her, I said, oh, they took down another show. And I go, from 2020. And she just looked at me and she goes, why now? And it's like, because they're that scared of me. I guess I must be that big of a threat. But either way, they have no idea. I hold back. And a lot of people call me on it for being, I get right to the line and then I pull back on certain things because I'm trying to stay relevant. I'm trying to not get pulled off the platform. I'm trying to reach the people that are sitting on the fence that are willing to listen. And you can't do that if you get yanked off and banished forever. There's a lot of people that are just, going through life and don't have a clue on certain things. And if they're willing to listen, whether you agree with me or not, is not my purpose. It's to put it out there for you to decide. I never said you got to listen and believe everything I say. Never. I put things out there. I grab, information. Excuse me. Woo, almost inhaled there. Information from this person and that person. And then I put it out. I go, you know what? That should be looked at. I've learned to question everything because lately we're getting fed a lot of baloney and I don't like it. So not everything is what it seems to be, but these guys are just, they're my number one enemy right now, or I'm their number one enemy. And it's just nitpicking. Now, they haven't suspended me. They just say, we're just pulling your show down. You can carry on. I'm doing my damnedest. I have to behave until the first of the year because I'm on, it's not suspension, but warning. I'm probation because I did get suspended 2 months ago for a week. Again, for baloney. But they're driving me nuts. And I promise you, one day I'm going to snap and I'm not going to care anymore what these guys think. And then you'll get the full-on Peter G, which isn't bad. It's just they can't handle it. And then I'm going to be like that forever, and whatever happens, happens. And it's coming. It's coming. I promise you. It's coming. Anyway, but that's what's going on. It's just such a bummer that, and it's not just me, it's other people too. And I know they throttle me down, but that's the way it goes. Woo, smooth. I do want to remind you, even though I love them and hate them, I still want you to subscribe to YouTube. We still need to make a point over there that people care enough to subscribe. Please, it's free. It's free. And other than the dozen or so shows they've pulled down, most everything else is there for the long form shows. Now, the shorts and things like that, I have a gazillion, 5,000-6,000 shorts floating around the internet, but you got to find those on Instagrams, TikToks, and all that. But either way, please subscribe to the YouTube. I got to let these guys know that still people care enough to subscribe regardless of what you're doing to me, or what they're doing to me. And for those of you who don't have time to watch the show, I love you, but take an earbud, put it in your ear while you're driving, Google Peter G Show podcast. We're on 24, talk about this in a minute. We're on 24 different platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Music, Amazon Music, you name it. Easy to find, Peter G Show. And I already did it. How many minutes am I into the show? 12 minutes, 34 seconds. And I hit the microphone already. Last week I was going through a bunch of old shows. I had to go looking for things. And I'm looking, and I used to use this microphone all the time in the very beginning. And I realized how much I miss this microphone. I just like it. It's fat. It's got a nice tone to it. And the only reason I, took it off was because I flail with my hands and I hit it a lot. But I said, no, I got to try it again. So we went with the lavalier for years now. We've been using the lav, and the lav is great. It's an expensive little lavalier, a lot of low end for a little microphone, but you can't beat a real microphone. I mean, a real, especially an expensive one. The diaphragm on it is like this big, and it's like the size of a 50-cent piece, and you get a lot of low end. You just do. And it's a good, I just love it. I miss it. So I put it out today. I said, I want this microphone back. Let's see how long it'll take before I get frustrated and end up, hitting it and saying, okay, I tried it and we got to, that's it. That's it. But anyway, that's what happened with this microphone. So if I hit it tonight during the show, sorry. You probably won't care, but I do. I'm anal about things like that. I like a nice, clean show. Anyway. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to talk about getting through the holidays. We're going to open up the phone line in just a few minutes. But I think first, here's what we need to do. I want to take a quick commercial break and hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. And we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in the oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 Driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 Driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right. Clean Start Products. All I can tell you is their DX1 driver, money-saving fuel additive, works, folks. Not many can say that. And here's what the deal is, which I think is the best. They'll talk to you. I'm sure you probably have questions about it. You know, you're not going to just like, oh, just because you see a commercial, you're going to jump and go buy something. Go to www.cleanstarproducts.com. On their website, there's a phone number, almost like this one here, but I'm not going to be able to answer your questions. They have a phone number to their website. You can call them, speak directly to them. They'll answer all your questions. And at that point, should you decide to purchase, here's the kicker. It's a holiday special. That's right. Right here, folks. You heard it first. If you order Clean Start Products DX1 driver, right here, all you do is pour a bottle into a clean oil change, last the whole oil change, and then every time you fill up your tank, you put one of these little bitty bottles into the gas tank. Mix it in there. That's it. But if you order right now and mention the Peter G Show, you will get 5 bottles for the price of 4. That's right. You heard it here first, folks. 5 bottles for the price of 4. You just mentioned that you heard it on the Peter G Show. DX1 driver. Again, it makes sense to save money, and it's the clean and greenest product out there. And if it can pass the California environmental, emissions, it'll pass anything. All right, and it works. So tell them Peter G Show sent you. It's worth it. I like saving money. Believe me, have we not been spending enough lately? Save some gas. All right. So here's what's going to happen. Let's take another sip. I'm parched. I was hustling today. A lot of little things. Smooth. Special holiday sauce. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to talk about things, but should you decide to call, I really want the newbies. If you're newer to the show, been listening within the past year, I really want you to call in and share what's going on with your life, financially, emotionally, family-wise. Don't be shy. Believe me, we tell stories here because there's nobody that isn't going through stuff. I don't care who you are. Everybody's got problems. That's a fact. 818-259-7983 is the number. And I'll take your call and we'll just talk about stuff, because it ain't easy. It's not easy. So do me that. 818-259-7983. Phone lines are, as far as I know, I've said that before, open. And whoever calls, I'll just answer and stop what I'm doing and stuff like that. But in the meantime, I will talk about things until you decide to get the nerve up. But 818-259-7983, that number right there. Right there. Call me and say, hey, talk to me and tell me what you think is going on with this country, our economy. How the hell do you spend? How do you eat? How do you pay for your food? How are you keeping up with your bills? It's lonely this time of year for a lot of people. Tell us about it, because believe me, I guarantee you there's hundreds of thousands and millions of people in the same boat. But 818-259-7983. Don't be shy. Just pick up the phone and call. I want to talk about, I don't even know where to start. I got so many things. I had to go into Costco a couple of days ago, Monday. Yeah. Now, some places don't have Costco. Some places have Sam's Club, but it's a big box store, It's Monday morning. About 10:30, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, let's say. 11 o'clock sounds good to me. How about you? I don't get anywhere too much earlier than that, unless I have to. I pull into the parking lot, and the parking lot is packed. It's Monday. Thanksgiving's over. And the parking lot, I swear, to the edge of their properties. Now, Costco's and Sam's and all those kind of places, they always have a lot of space. Even their parking spaces are wider than your average parking space. They give you a lot of room and needed. for those big giant shopping carts they got. And the cars, I drove around I must have wasted 5, 6 minutes going around. And then finally, I was saying, okay, I got to go to the outskirts, which is fine. I don't mind walking. But even that was full, which is, I don't know. It's not every day it's like that, but it's Monday. It's packed. And I'm thinking to myself, because again, I'm not going in there for a bunch of stuff. I just needed something that I'd rather buy from Costco. Actually, I'm like one of the oddballs. I go to Costco and I buy 3 or 4 things. I don't buy a ton of stuff. But that's the way I work. I don't need a whole lot of stuff. And I'm in the store. I'm walking in the store and I'm going, are they giving this shit away? I mean, it's not like there's some special deals. Maybe everybody thinks you're going to save, and maybe on a couple of things. Oh, I did buy a pumpkin pie. I mean, there's a big ass pumpkin pie too for $6. I was walking by it. You couldn't say no. They're probably trying to unload them, but it wasn't because I was in an Albertsons and I bought an apple pie that was only like 10 inches. So real, like this. It was $12. I bought this pumpkin pie. I swear to God, it must have been 18 inches at least. Huge. For $5.99. So I had to buy it. I don't even, pumpkin to me is almost close to custard. I don't mind it that much. I'm not going to eat it every day, but you got me. I bought it because it was so damn cheap. But that's not what it was there for. So I guess their little trickery works. But I'm walking around and I'm going, how in the hell do people afford this? With kids, families. Stuff is so expensive. So expensive. It's 50% and more on some of the things you're buying than what you bought 2 years ago. And it just blows my mind. I go, how the hell are people affording to live? How do you afford to live when you're on low income? The government, they don't give you that much. I'm just dumbfounded by the whole thing because people's carts are full. Full. Now, I also hear that a lot of people, a lot of stuff's going on credit. A lot of people are, having to put down their credit cards. And they're saying, I was watching a report that a lot of people haven't even finished paying off last Christmas. And now we're doubling down on this Christmas. 818-259-7983. I want you to call this number and talk to me about how you're going to get through the holidays. What's, loss of family, money's tight. It's going to be a rough holiday. Talk to me. Talk to us. I understand, believe me. The newbies especially. I want somebody fresh to give a buzz. Talk, be the first. Get up the guts and just call in. It's not that hard. Nobody can see your face, nothing like that. But share your story because I promise you, there's tons of people wanting to call that won't. It always happens. We stand by my phrase. I have the greatest lurkers. I do. I love to watch. They're waiting for somebody else to call in. But just do it. Just do it. So I'm in Costco. And I'm walking around, and I mean, everybody's carts are loaded. The line is out the door. The parking lot is slam full to the edge of the properties. And I'm just scratching my head because, okay, I live in California, and if that doesn't kill you enough financially, nothing else will. But it's hard all over the country. Everything is based on area, kinda. And I just don't understand it. And that goes through my head a lot because I worry. I do. I care about, everybody getting through things. It's not easy. We're all just getting by. Barely. And it's getting worse. And I'm looking around. I had time. I had some time. And I was like, I'm looking, seeing what people are buying, and a lot of it's necessities. Toilet paper, just buying the, 45 count bag. I mean, I do that too. If that way I don't have to keep buying it. I just load up the cabinet and, deal with it way longer than going when you don't just buy 4 rolls at a time. You're constantly, continually buying. I can't do that. I hate that stuff. I got to go to the store for toilet paper. But I'm looking around. I'm going, I'm still, again, baffled. One thing I really noticed even more this year, you know how at least I know as growing up as a kid, decorating for the holidays, like, there was no Christmas decorations until right after Thanksgiving, me growing up as a kid. As I got older, it started happening before Thanksgiving, and it started coming sooner and sooner. As soon as Halloween was over, you start seeing Christmas things going up. Well, this year, I don't know. It wasn't even Halloween yet, and all the Christmas stuff is out. I think, and everybody, I'm watching on Facebook, and 818-259-7983, I would really love for somebody to share what's going on in their lives or what they think's happening with this country financially or an economy, how you're affording to buy things. Just do it. Just call. Otherwise, you're going to have to listen to me. Oh, I wanted to play you a video, too, about something. It's like stupid stuff. And I think that everybody's looking for more. Things are so rough that you're putting up your Christmas stuff in before Halloween's even hitting because you just want that joy. And I don't blame you. People, I watched it on Facebook. Facebook's my go-to. I see what people are doing, what people are eating, who's having surgeries, who passed away, which I get that a lot. Sad but true. And I'm watching and it's like, yep, put my Christmas tree up. And this was before Thanksgiving. And I'm looking at, I'm going, people are grabbing, needing, wanting that happiness of those lights, the feeling you get. Totally get that. I totally understand that because it's such a shitstorm out there that, you want to have a sanctuary, someplace you can go to and like just make believe that everything's okay for a few minutes. Because it's not. It's not. We don't have a choice. We have to get through it. You have to keep going, but it sucks. I think it does. I don't think it's all honky-dory. I don't think we're in better shape than we ever were. At least that's what they're trying to tell us. I'm sorry, I just don't. Ooh. 818-259-7983. Let me tell you one other thing for you new people that watch or in the future, even if you're watching it after the show's live. Most of the time, the way the call-in shows work is I get down to the final 10, 15 minutes, and then people decide to call in, and I don't have time to take the calls. It's just the way it goes. I know I haven't been consistent with using the phones. I used to be every week. It was no doubt every week the phones would be open, and I don't do that much anymore because I've had guests and things like that, and the hour just goes by way too fast. But tonight the phone is open. It's a big old sign right there. It says, "Call me. Hi, I'm me. Me. 818-259-7983 is the number to give your opinion. How things are going. Do you think we're doing real well? I don't know. Like, Peter, you don't know what you're talking about? We're better than we ever have been? Enlighten me. I always tell people, if I'm wrong, educate me then. Give me a buzz. Don't just call me a friggin' idiot, which I get called a lot. Actually, this week, I think moron was used a lot on some of the older, and people are still commenting on the Maui fire clips and things like that. They really get upset. The ones that disagree, they get upset. I like it because they keep watching. I got this one guy. He's like commenting every day. It's like, you hate me, but every day you're commenting. I'll take it. I think he secretly likes me as an entertainer. Again, I'm not a news anchor. I'm a talk show host. I bring things out there for you to decide. I never ever in my clips in all these shows, if you see, but they don't. They watch the thing and they're not really listening. They listen to what they want to hear. And I always say, I go, I'm just putting it out there for you to watch. You decide. but they take it as I'm personally shoving it down their throat, which I'm not. I force nobody to watch this show. I love when you watch this show. And I thank you for watching this show, but I don't force anybody. Nobody's out there twisting anybody's arms. But yet, man, not only do they have to comment, they just get mean about it. No facts. They just get mean. And I'm the idiot. You're watching my show, and I'm the idiot. Anyway, 818-259-7983 is the number. It says right there, call me. I had this... I thought about it. I said, one of these days, I'm just going to do a show, and I'm not going to say anything, and I'm just going to sit here. And unless the phone rings, I'm not going to speak, which is probably, good for you guys. But I want to, while we're at it, because I forgot, I should have done this earlier. I don't know if anybody caught the news, kind of news, but, I don't know about you guys, but if you love Disneyland and Disney World, but my ex-wife used to love Disneyland. Her and her two previous kids, I don't know. For them, I mean, I remember having to go, and I've gone a bunch of times. And as old as they've gotten, we go sit in like It's a Small World and all that, and they're sitting there looking at that shit. And it's the same shit every year. And they're looking at it, and their heads are bobbing, and they're singing along, and as if they're looking at it for the very first time ever, which is great. I mean, it's nice to have that much emotion for something, but personally, I don't get into it. It's like, okay, saw it. It's great. Costs a fortune now to go to Disneyland, Disney World. I mean, it always costs a fortune, compared to what you call cost a fortune, but now it hasn't gotten any cheaper, despite all the crap they're going through. And some people just love Disneyland, just love it. And this week, somebody did some drugs. I don't know what the hell he was on, but he was on some drugs, heavily drugged out. You have to be to do something as stupid as this. And he went into Disneyland and decided to go on the Small World ride. And I guess maybe he just jumped off and went onto the platforms with all the little mechanical dolls and all that, and proceeded to take off his clothes. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. And he took off his clothes. This is a guy, a white guy, young guy, took off all his clothes and starts walking around. And then I think he stripped down completely. They didn't show that, but they claim he did. And because they were claiming that he had shrinkage. Maybe it was the water. And then he was in there for like an hour before they finally got him out and arrested him. So people are in there going through the boats, and here's this human being, like you're washing all the stuff and you're taking a double take, and here's this naked guy in It's a Small World in Disneyland. I think it's Disneyland, pretty sure. And he's walking around it, and he looks like he's out of it. But here, check this out.
Oh my god. Oh god, he's gonna break all the stuff. I don't think so. They should stop the music. Oh my god, he's gonna fall, dude.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine sitting in there. You're having a good time. You get your kids in there. And that was the thing. You got kids in there. You're not at a strip bar. And Cuz is whacked out of his mind. I'd love to know what he was doing or what kind of drugs he was doing, because he looked like he was just spaced out. Maybe he knows that pilot that tried to crash that airliner tripping on mushrooms. Maybe they had the same hookup. But can you imagine? You're sitting there with your kids and you're on that thing, and here comes this guy. Now, thank God he wasn't crazy or nothing, like coming at people. It'd be really funny if you had like somebody dressed up in like Chainsaw Massacre or with the Jason coming at people. They're jumping, running for their lives. I mean, you're in a boat in water. It's only knee-deep water, but you're in a boat in water. Simulations. But this is what goes on. This is the times we are living in now. Not to say that stuff like this hasn't happened in the past, but I don't know. Maybe it's because we got more phones, cell phones, and all that kind of stuff now. But I just find that happy holidays. 818-259-7983 is the number that you can call to tell me about what you think and how you think we're doing for the holidays, how you think people are making it, how are you making it, what kind of issues possibly on your end. Stuff happens. Life is a bitch. I say that a lot. It's nothing, new, kind of. It just depends whether anybody wants to talk about it or not. And I do. I think it's very important because holiday spending is, I know everybody, because of the holidays. And when you're spending money, people want to buy things. You want to buy things for your kids. You love that feeling of the kids you want your kids to be happy. But it's hard. I don't know how a lot of these people are doing it. And, again, I do know that people are going to put their, use credit cards, worry about it later. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. California is, every time I wake up and hear the news with California, our governor comes up with some new cockamamie rules and laws and to make things more and more difficult over here. And not only is it going to be, is it making it harder for the holidays, it just makes it harder to live. It's like, I really like being out here. However, is it worth the price? It's always been a little more expensive to live out here. I mean, that's always been known that, but, we have great weather. Even, Christmas. I remember, a lot of Christmases, it's 80 degrees out. No snow. I mean, snow is great to look at, but I damn sure don't feel like shoveling it. And it's getting impossible. I mean, the rich, the wealthy will get through it, but there's a lot more people that are middle class and under than there are wealthy people. There really is. 818-259-7983. I swear I'm not gonna end this show unless somebody calls. I want to hear from somebody. I just do. We didn't make this big old phone right here just to look at. Pick up the phone. Don't be alone. Pick up the phone. Just call. Even call me to say hey, or tell me you hate me. I don't care. I don't care. As long as you call. I always tell people, as long as you call me. I also have I got Rodney Norman too. A lot of people deal with a lot of health and well-being issues, mental wellness. I think that gets even harder once you get into the holidays. A lot of people dive bomb, and not everybody has the mental capacity to get through it, or the physical or financial capacity to go, yeah, it sucks, but we're still going to do something, and we'll live, which we'll all live. We're all going to live one way or another, hopefully. But I think it's hard, and I think it's extremely hard for those or those who suffer from things that go on in their heads, depression. It makes it even harder because the holidays amplifies the situation, because it's supposed to be a great time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. You know what I mean? Great songs. There was a time when it used to be. I mean, but now life has changed. Times are tough. When people are just getting by, we've got how many wars are going on now at once? We're just lucky we're not getting completely pulled in yet. I do say yet. We're hanging on the edge of so many things. So many things. And yet it's the holidays, and we're, supposed to you set it aside. And I always said this about vacations. A lot of people I know, they go, man, I can't wait for my vacation. I just got to go take my vacation. Now, most people take a vacation for what? 1 week, 2 weeks? You go and you blow thousands of dollars going somewhere. You take your vacation. You may sit on a beach chair with the drinks in your hand. You may go get obliterated, or you may just go chill out somewhere. But at the end of the 2 weeks, guess what? You're right back where you were, and life keeps going on. And is that vacation, did that vacation fix your life? I doubt it. I mean, it's fun, but you got your life needs to be straight. So most of us are living with a lot of stress nowadays. We just are. I'm grateful for every day. I am, but it is stressful. Completely stressful. You try not to worry about things. I had, Pepsi always say, man, why are you worrying about things that haven't even happened yet? Because I think ahead. I'm a realist. I realize that these possibilities, and you kind of want to have something in your head to not get hit over the head by surprise. Crime. You look at, I was watching something on today, and some girl was walking in a city. I don't know. I think she was in Chicago. She was walking by herself. It was dark out. The streets were kind of empty. So she was walking, and she had a rolling suitcase she was pulling, and she's at a street corner. And these 4 guys get out of a car, one with a shotgun, and they completely rob her. What's she going to do? There's nobody around. 4 guys masked up. This is what our lives have turned into. Smash and grabs. Where I live out here in California, not very far, they're hitting malls left and right. They're hitting Beverly Hills, the places that you would never think anybody would do anything, have the guts to do. Melrose, all these trendy places. They don't care anymore. Holidays, especially the holidays now. Stealing all, Amazon is the king of delivering things. 818-259-7983. I know I'm going to end this show tonight going, why do I bother? A lot of people are scared to talk about things. It's nothing to be scared about. It's just life. But anyway, Amazon has become, when they forced us down to stay in our homes and things like that, Amazon quickly started capturing the majority of the market. You don't even have to leave home. You just order it and it shows up. I think they're starting a car service now too, buying cars. They're going to put some of these dealerships out of business. They're going to be a distributor. I mean, what more does Bezos want? He's got it all. He's got music. He's got movies. He's got TV. He's got buy anything you want from them. Anything. Just about anything. And now he's going to start selling cars online too with Amazon. But the thing is, they locked everybody down, and you buy from home. And now people, they're getting their, this week also, they're showing Amazon, UPS trucks, FedEx trucks. They just blatantly, truck is stopped. They break into the truck, broad daylight, 5-10 people, and they just raid the truck. They raid the truck. They just open it up. What's the driver going to do? He's going to lose his life over that crap? But this is happening a lot now. These are the times we're living in. Wonderful times. This stuff wouldn't happen if you clamped down on it. But we're letting all the criminals out of jail. It's the holidays. You know? We got people that are saying they, doing wrong is good. Cops don't want to be cops anymore. They were forced to either, get poked or lose their jobs. And a lot of them decided they rather lose their job than submit to some forceful medication that they don't want to do. I don't blame them. And now we don't have enough cops. And then the cops that are on duty are strung out to the limb. They're working double shifts, 12, 17, 18-hour days. Sure, great overtime and all that, but big deal. You're ragging yourself out, and then when shit hits the fan and you need to be on your toes, you're tired. You're burned out. Not as on top of things as you may, need to be. On top of it's the holidays. Normally during the holidays, we need more cops and everything in general because there's more activities going on, more things happening, and they hire on more security and this and that. You're not safe out there. It's not safe. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. It's just a fact. It's just what the hell has happened with us? So as if we're not broke enough, the few things that you're trying to buy have a great possibility of not even arriving because they'll get stolen. They put them on your porch. You got your porch pirates. I know. I'm not gloom and doom, Peter. It's a reality. I know you can't tell me this is bullshit. It's not. It's fact. You have to watch everything. It's the second time I just hit this microphone. I'm counting. 818-259-7983. If you think I'm wrong, call me. If you agree, call me. You guys are going to make me work hard tonight, aren't you? Harder. But it's tough. And, on top of that, as if the financial struggle wasn't enough, you have all this other stuff going on. And what little you have, you're trying to hold on to. And then there's the mental aspect out of it. Who's drinking way too much because they're depressed and they're alone. I get it. I totally get it. I just got a phone call from a longtime old friend last week who called to tell me that another longtime old friend. Now, I haven't seen this person in many, many years, but I knew he was drinking a lot just in general, but he died. He passed away of, his liver gave out. It's going to happen. That's stuff you don't think about it, but it does. As you get older, you're not as bulletproof. The days of going out and staying out all night, we kind of surpassed all that. I'm at a point to where, I still do a lot of things, but but again, a lot of things in moderation too. It's and a lot of things we've been there, done that. It's not that enticing anymore. It's not that appealing anymore. Just lucky to be here, right? Just lucky to be here because I don't know if you've looked around, but not just because we're getting older, but a lot of people you're hearing all these reports, the term sudden death. People are just dropping out of nowhere. Now, it used to happen a lot. It just wasn't as reported maybe. But I think there's more of that going on, and there's some reasoning behind it, but I can't talk about it because they'll take me down. And even though it's just an opinion. But, what you believe and what you don't believe is, like I said, not a big deal. It's up to you. I mean, I'm not going to lose your friend. At least with me, when I have people that think differently, I'm not going to say, well, screw you because you don't think like me. And if that's the case, even though we've been friends for 35, 40 years, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. You can just unfriend me. It's I don't work like that. That's not me. I'm going, you know what? We're still friends. I love you. I love you. But I do have a lot of people who do get really upset. And I love them. I do. We've gone on, some people are not weren't everyday hangout friends, but we've known each other for a long time. And we kind of operate on different lines, but there's still common ground. There's a lot of common ground. This stuff never used to be like this. It's never been like this. They're divided. I mean, we're getting more and more divided when we're supposed to be united. We're getting more and more divided when you're supposed to be united. Got to work on that song. But it's just sad. It saddens me. I have a lot of people in my life. I do. I try to keep up with a lot of people too. It's not easy. I just told somebody that last night. Actually, he was a friend of mine's son who was a little boy, and I was around him a lot. And he's grown up now. He's probably in his 30s. And he wrote me last night out of the blue, and I've lost touch with him because a mutual friend of ours that was older to him too at the time and passed away also. A lot of people. I get this all the time. That's most of the time my phone rings. Like it's like, who died? And he contacted me, and I'm glad you did, because normally I keep up with everybody. But if you're not on Facebooks and you're not on social media and you change your addresses and you change phone numbers, sometimes it's impossible. I go out of my way though to keep up. I probably keep up with a lot more people than most people do. Only because I can. I make the time because life is short. A lot of good times. A lot of good times. And even though I may not see you that much, doesn't mean I don't care. We're just all busy doing our things. I mean, I'm busy as hell. Next year is going to be a challenge, trying to make some major changes and things. And, because this show is growing. I'm at my wit's end with too many hats, things like that. But right now we're in the holidays, and I'm trying to finish out the holidays, talking about the holidays. 818, we're getting down to the final few minutes, and then I'm going to take that number down. So it's your last chance, 818-259-7983. Otherwise, it's just a solo Peter show, which is okay. I was looking at all these old shows that we did in the past. I mean, I've been doing these shows since 2017, basically like this, when it was just Facebook Live. And then I'd upload them to YouTube. You can find them. They're all on YouTube. It was really refreshing. I was up to like 5 a.m. watching stuff, flipping around. I was looking for one thing, a couple of things, but I had to keep looking at different stuff because I couldn't remember where it was. And let's see what Rebecca says. Look, actually a comment. Even the comments are quiet today. I think it could be we just don't actively socialize anymore. We have their head and fingers on tech objects. Well, that's true. Thank you, Rebecca, for saying something. You're the first and only. I realize it's the holidays and people are busy too. I take that into account also, but I know there's people watching, and there's always a lot more people watching than what you think, because when the show's over, the numbers are way different than what it may, say it is. I don't understand how that works. I really don't. So I quit worrying about it. But at the same time, again, we're all busy. Yeah, maybe people aren't as social. And I think as you get older, you start secluding yourself a little more. You don't do as much this and that. But I am. This is, if they're, believe me, I know people do things because there's, you're taking pictures of your food. You're asking about things, prayers for my mother, which is, only right. I've watched so many people, every weekly, somebody's passing away, somebody's mother. As we get older, I mean, it's just normal. It's the way it is, sadly. I went through it. I brought both my parents, I spoke to, about their passings in depth. 2016, October, and then June 2020. No, April 2020 of my father. And I opened up. I lead by example. It's just life. I had nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed of. I was proud, sad, but proud. I loved my parents, even though we used to argue like crazy at times, but that was okay. That was okay. And now I carry their memory and pass it on with my daughter, and just the way it is. I mean, that's just life. But man, the holidays are tough. Tougher. When people go through these things. And that's why I have the show. I'm going to do this next week also. I don't care. We will sit here and talk about this stuff. And you don't want to call me? Don't call. But I think you should. Everybody's got a story. I know you all have a story. Somebody's going through stuff. Somebody's having a hard time for the holidays. Or somebody has an opinion about like what's going on with the holidays or daily life. It's a struggle. If you think that, well, again, that we're in amazing shape right now, I'd love to hear your facts and point of view on that, because I totally will disagree with you. But that's what we're doing, because I believe in it. And I believe that even if you don't call in, I talk about this stuff and it makes sense to somebody. You can tell me whether I make sense or not either. Again, this week, the key word for the people who disagreed with me on past episodes and clips, Peter the moron. It's like, I'm such a moron. You watch me every week and then complain about it. But I love them too, because deep down, they're slowly getting to understand how this show operates. It's not a newscast. It's a talk show. But I talk about a lot of things, all pertaining to life. I had somebody also who critiqued me this week. They were giving their opinion about how I should specialize, how I need to find a niche. They're telling me how to run my show, which is fine. I listen to everything. I just don't necessarily believe all of it because I've been there. And if I'm lacking, if I'm wrong, I'll truly apologize. But I like talking about a variety of things because I think that you can't please everybody. So I like touching on this. I used to talk about a lot about, especially the holidays, divorce and single parenting. Maybe we'll talk about that next week some more. I'll get in deeper, but I'm going to touch only because that's tough, especially when you're going through it for your first year. The first of everything hurts. I lived it. Especially when people are pissed off and being bigger asses than they need to be and making it harder than it really should be. Because when you're going through divorce, you do a lot of stupid things, fueled by anger. And I used to talk a lot about that stuff because I've watched parents go sideways, and you got your kids that need you, especially when you got young children. They need you, and you need to have your head on straight. It's the holidays, and you're just drinking and doing stupid stuff, and they don't forget that stuff. They may put it out of their heads, but it comes around, and then they start getting twisted, and they remember those things, and it haunts them a little bit. The chances are they'll survive. I've known a lot of kids that are carrying that stuff with them, all because you couldn't keep your act together as an adult. It's hard. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm saying it's hard, but you need to when you have kids. Anyway, that might be a good thing to talk about next week. Divorcing or single parenting and just going through problems. We're going to talk about all this stuff again next week. I will talk about this until the end of time because it's that important to me. Nobody called 818-259-7983. I guess that's a record again. Usually somebody blows up the phone at the very end, at least, so I can say, well, at least it rang one time. But that's not going to happen. And guess what? I don't care. I mean, I do care. I wish you would have done it, but somehow or another, me talking and then the haters would say I talk to hear myself. I put out information. And I promise you that somewhere down the line, this show will resonate with the chosen few who need to hear it. And that's it. I don't need any pat on the backs. I don't need any attaboys. I do what I do because I feel it from within. And I will always do what I do from within. Nobody, I don't care how much money, if I don't feel right doing something, I'm not doing it. Now, I've done some things I go, maybe we shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Those were like just mistakes. I mean, not mistakes. You try stuff. You think it's going to work. You think it's good, but things change. But I mean, I'm not that influenceable. I'm not, I don't care. You get to a certain age, now especially, I'm getting to that I don't care point. Next year might be a whole different, not a whole different, but even more me of I don't care what anybody thinks or what anybody wants to tell me what they think of me, because I do care. And I'm doing the best I can for caring, but it's not easy. But if you cared, you would have called 818-259-7983. But there's always next week. I forgive you. Here's what I want to do. There's speaking of no, I'm not even gonna do that. We're gonna go. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening. For those of you who may be watching and or listening to the audio podcast in the future. To Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday, like clockwork, God willing, and I mean that. You never know when your time is up. 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I am truly grateful that I am able to be here. Doesn't have to be here. You know, it doesn't have to be this way. Yes, I put in a lot of effort to be here, but again, things happen, things change. People, you know, I could lose interest and say, I don't want to do this anymore. But I know I do want to do this. I do this not only for me, I do this more for you because I realize how important it is. And we're going to get and be more and more relevant as time goes on. The year is almost over. I want you to join me next week where it's going to be more me, talking to you. And you'll be able to call me again with all those phone calls. I'm exhausted from all those phone calls. Right here on Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show. And if you have any questions and or comments, you can always leave comments. There's an email also, info@petergshow.com. And that's basically it. I'm a little bit okay. Usually I get, it's funny because I'm doing the show and I'm getting texts on my phone. You know, nobody can, I'm getting it from all over. But the bottom line is, I'm here, you're here, we're all here. Be grateful, be thankful. Next week is another week. Tomorrow's another day. And all I want to do is for all of us to wake up and move forward. Keep moving forward. That is the key. I know we all go through, you know, a lot of hard times. Some better than others. Some you question, why me? Why me? I don't know. But the bottom line is you're here. So I would take that as a blessing and a gift. And that's basically it. All right. All right. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching. Please share. Please. And hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel, please. You know, again, it's a love-hate relationship, but just do me that favor. Just do it. Until I really tell them to go take a hike, or they tell me to take a hike, I'm still relevant on here. I want to keep the subscriptions coming. It's free. I love you guys. Be kind, and I'll don't take any crap from, you know, you don't have to take crap from a bunch of people, but you don't have to be an ass either. Life is short. I know that when you're under pressure, you tend to get a little more edgy. Take that deep breath, as I always do nowadays, and try to be on the level of just calm. Try to be. I'm not saying it always works. I'm saying try. At least take the initiative, all right? As always, my name is Peter G. I do love you guys. And see you next week, and peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad.